Hello.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode 5 of Restoration University. My name is Michael Shaughnessy.
Number 5 is alive. I'm sorry, I had to do it. I'm an 80s kid, so I'm Amy O'Shaughnessy.
And we're just kind of updating our Christmas version of Restoration University.
Yes, and we're sorry that it's late.
Yeah, and we're sorry that we didn't post last week. But Amy actually, as you can hear, still has a chest cold. It took her about 10 days to finally get to where she's at here today. So
I can breathe.
She can breathe, yeah. So we just want to update you guys with what's been happening with us and how you can do stuff in your community around restoration. So
yeah.
So
what's going on with us?
What do we do this week?
So we filed our letters of incorporation.
Yeah. So I'm gonna hold this.
Forgot what
I'm
it was
gonna hold
called.
this up, and we have this. It's you guys can see it.
Yeah.
Articles of incorporation. The way we're filing is we're actually a church. It's called Acts 29 Church, and through that Restore Kids app will be a ministry through that, and Restoration University is also a ministry through the church.
Because it's easier to start nonprofits from a church rather than start a nonprofit
and then add a church.
And then add a church later.
Yeah. And the reason we're adding a church is, let's be honest, like I've been called to preach the gospel.
We've all been called.
We've all been
specifically.
called. Well, I feel like it's been just a calling in my life, and I've wanted to actually about 2 years ago. Actually, 2 years ago Christmas.
I feel like it was like
2 years ago Christmas.
3? No.
I left my position as an associate pastor at a local church because I really believe God had called me to launch a church, and then we stepped into full-time. Well, not stepped into, but the ministry that I was already in, which was a homeless rescue mission. Really, my associate director said, "Hey, this is already a church. Let's treat it as a church." So we did that. And now I really just believe like launching a church and the ministries out of it will grow what we really want to do here in Kitsap County.
Totally. So the tricky thing with launching a church in an impoverished area, neighborhood, is that those people, typically churches are funded by tithes. Mm-hmm. And those people probably will not be tithing very much. And truly we don't want them to have to sacrifice anything to come to church. Obviously, there's going to be some kind of conversation around, tithing for them
like
because
that,
it's,
Yeah.
But that to say that, so Mike and I are setting ourselves up as missionaries, man, those M words, missionaries within our county in order to be able to start a church in an impoverished neighborhood without
and not depending on the
congregation
totally,
for funds. I said that horribly, but
it's all right. You're getting over being sick.
Yeah, my brain fog is still.
Give yourself a break.
In the harbor.
So we this last week, last week, we got all the information from the company that's been helping us, which is called Start Church. They actually walked through all the processes with us, and then we had someone specific working on building all the articles of incorporation, all of our bylaws, all those things, and they just sent that over to us for us to review, and we just sent that off to the state
today.
To the state of Washington today. Yeah.
So we will post a picture of Mike putting it in the mailbox.
Yeah, we have pictures of that.
Yeah, maybe we'll make that our thumbnail. I'm learning so many things.
So what I was thinking about was each state is actually different. And so if you're not working with a company like Start Church or other companies that are out there that are doing that.
Which we don't know of, by the way. Sorry if we don't mention them.
Yeah, if we don't mention them, that's the
it's
one
not
we're
meant to be
with.
a commercial for Start Church, but hey, they're awesome.
But I want to say is make sure that you're checking with your state, whatever state you're in, what all the rules are, what all the things you need to file, what all the stuff is before you send it in, because it could cause a delay in you actually starting your nonprofit or your church or your ministry that you're doing. So each state's going to have their own different rules and regulations, so follow up with your state because that's really the governing body of you launching this.
Yeah.
So,
so that is what has happened with Restore Kids app, and we're super excited about it. And I've been talking to people about how we're going to kind of market this, how we're going to get people involved. And so I'm going to be starting a campaign.
She still said folks, so it's all right.
That's just my Southern love coming
there you
out.
Go. That and
I
butter.
love the South. I'm not from the South. That's why I can love the South, because everybody's from the South. It's like, nah. Anyway, so we're going to start this campaign here. I want to start it by February. There's some stuff that we need to figure out.
Yeah.
Hashtag money. But the Lord provides. But on a personal note, we have sent out our letter to a lot of people, not everyone. So we purchased 2 packs of Christmas cards, went through all of those, and still have not sent out all of our Christmas cards / support letters / so we'll be doing that. They will be after Christmas cards.
Yeah, well, and the other side is there'll be some people that don't get Christmas cards because we don't have your physical address, but we'll be sending emails out to you of the support letter, because we've actually been finding a lot of people really want to support us and what we're doing, and so we just need to get that information out to them. So
yeah, I will say from a my heart, that there has been times where, you know, the anxiety and the stress and of the situation just kind of are weighty. And so I'll go, man, you know, like next month, what are we going to do? You know, we don't have any income coming in. Our month, you know, this month is the last month of savings that we have.
Totally.
And every single time something like that comes up, a thought or, you know, just the worry or whatever, man, the Lord has just brought somebody in our life to encourage us, to give us a Christmas card, to text or message or email, or even just like a random hug in a supermarket.
Yeah.
Did I say supermarket? I don't say words like supermarket. All of a sudden we're on...
You're a mom, so that's what happens. So then, also this last month, we actually got back on our feet in the sense of out in ministry again.
Yes.
And we got a call. Actually, we got notified that there were some couples living in a local parking lot of a business that had been shut down in RVs. So we actually started to reach out again to them, and which was nice, because we got to be doing what we're passionate about, which is contacting people who are sometimes on the worst day that we meet them. That we're contacting them and saying, hey, we're here, no strings attached, we just want to help. And how can we help, and what does that look like? And what was so amazing to me was that we posted 2 videos about, and it wasn't with the couples, that's because one of the things that we both believe is that we're not going to utilize them to promote what we do.
Right, we don't want pictures of people that we're helping or their names or any of that.
Until they're restored.
Well, and just because they're part of your... So here's the reason why you shouldn't either. They're part of your community. They are... And for Mike and I, they're our friends and family. Our community is our friends and family. And what you're doing is, yes, you're saying these people are in need. Yeah. And that sometimes people need to see that to understand. Sure. But the other part of that is they don't want to be the couple that was homeless in the RV in the parking lot for the rest of the time that they're in this community. And one of the things that we ask are the people that we help that are homeless right now is, do you want to stay here, or are you trying to move out somewhere? Are you trying to get to family? Are you, you know, what is your goal? What is your plan? Because they're human beings, and I think sometimes if we take pictures of them and we post their situations and so on and so forth,
or we say we have a better plan for them, when it's disregarding their needs and their thoughts and what they want to do.
Yeah, if you've ever, you know, dealt with crisis or in your own life, you know what was helpful when people offered it and what was not helpful. Yeah. And it's hard to even see the people who, when they offered help and it wasn't helpful at all, that they were trying to help, they just didn't know how. And so, Yeah. So, well, needless to say, we just got back into
doing more of that. And it was so encouraging for everybody who actually, I just wanted a shout out to everybody who follows Restore Kids app, because you guys made such a difference in this family's life. It was amazing. And even though the results weren't what we desired.
Well, we got 5 hotel rooms.
Yeah.
5 basically for the different families for different days in total. Yeah. And we even had a senator step forward and purchase 2 of those.
State senator.
What did I say?
Just senator. I was just clarifying. A state senator for Washington State.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Washington State senator.
Yeah.
And again, I
not
don't
downplaying
names.
I'm just saying.
Super cool.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And
the reason I say the outcome wasn't what we desired, there were some other things that happened. You guys rocked. Everybody who supported that plea for help for these 2 families was amazing. There were some things in their own lives, the families that we're helping, that wasn't the desired outcome that we'd like to see. But that, needless to say, we showed up on one of their worst days to help them out and let them know that just because this was happening, and that local law enforcement was involved and things like that, but just because this was happening did not mean that we were in any way not going to help them out, not going to work with them, not going to do these things, because
our help wasn't contingent on
strings or things like that. Yeah.
Behavior, situation. Totally.
So I just want to encourage you, everybody who supports Restore Kids app and what we're doing out there. Thank you so much. It blessed, an amazing blessing on a family who was in need, and not every situation is going to turn out like you think.
Right.
So
have expectations, but know that they will not be met.
Yeah, so that's why I just kind of wanted to lean into that, saying if you're starting up your ministry, if you're starting up something in your community, it's about restoring people or helping people or that are in crisis and trauma, things like that. Know that you might have a plan, you might have an idea of where you want to go, and it might not end up where you think it's going to go, but in the end, God will glorify himself and people will be restored. And sometimes it's that long, hard road that people go down that changes them forever.
For sure.
And I know that was for us. That's what happened, over 11 years ago. Like, it was a long, hard road, but yet it changed us forever, and it put our trajectory on a path that is following God and seeing people being restored. So it's just amazing. So I just want to encourage you, like, don't get discouraged when it doesn't go the way you think it's going to go. When roadblocks come up, figure out problems with it, figure out solutions with it, partner with people, connect with people. During that time that law enforcement was out with this family that we were helping, we got to connect with a new sheriff that's in town. He's new to the sheriff's department here. He's from Phoenix, Arizona, so he's kind of learning his way around here. And we got to connect with him and understand his heart. And he's got a heart for the community too, and he wants to see restoration. And so it was just really encouraging, even though that it wasn't happening the way.
Situation.
Yeah.
And I will just say it would have been the worst day of my life that they were going through. Yeah. But we got to be there, love them. And so I just wanted to add this. If you want to truly restore people, there cannot be strings attached. Yeah. When we look at the Bible and we look at what Jesus did and we look at his life, there was no strings attached. He wasn't like, I'm going to heal you, but first. Yeah. And so what we see is that Jesus loves, and then the restoration comes. Yeah. So we love, and we know that restoration will come. Yeah. That doesn't mean that we're not going to have, boundaries and things like that. And it doesn't mean that we're not going to have some expectations. And what I mean by expectations are, if you're trying to help a family who, let's just say that, there's addiction issues in there, and you're assisting them with maybe daycare, or you're assisting them with maybe like replacing the roof on their house, or purchasing school supplies for their children, before school. If you see that they go, great, thanks a lot, and then they're like, I'm going to spend the money we saved on some more of the whatever addiction is, it is perfectly within your right to tell them, listen, we love you, and I just want you to know that this is a gift, and we won't stop giving this gift. But what we really desire to see for you is to be restored. Yeah. And we know you're not living your best life if you're doing this activity. So, there will be some,
and I think that comes with
conversations.
That comes with building relationship with people that you're working with. And so
good note.
there are those times where you're just going to feel God, the Holy Spirit, just kind of tug on your heart and say, help that person. And that's the only time you'll ever see him.
Yeah.
And then there's other times it's going to be where you're investing in someone. Mm-hmm. And when you invest in someone, that means they're becoming part of your life. And so what I've learned over my time of running program houses and homeless shelter and going out into encampments is beginning is very low expectation of what I expect of them. It's just really
nothing. It's resting.
Building relationship. But as I have relationship, that also starts to give the ability for me to speak into life and speak truth. And then once I speak truth, it's up to them to whether they want to accept the truth or not. But that does not stop me from loving on them.
Right.
But it might change how I love on them.
Right.
So it might be like, with this family, like we were helping with hotels and things like that. But because of other things that we found out and we've walked through, it changes a little bit how we're going to help them in the next step. Because there'll be some expectation to say, hey, we need you to help to get you to the next point. We want to help you get to here. How do we do that? And so it's really breaking down
hotel
stuff.
Rooms.
Yeah.
Obviously the hotel room isn't going to be a long-term solution for homelessness.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we said was, here are your resources.
Yeah,
here's, this place and this place and this place that you can find housing or shelter or temporary shelter, or this is transitionary shelter.
Yeah.
And if they choose to just be like, I just want the hotel room, I need another hotel room, instead of the options that are available to them, then unfortunately you're a sugar mama or a sugar dada.
Well, because the idea is really, everybody's heard the statement, right? If you give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day, but if you teach him to fish, he'll eat for a lifetime. And so the whole idea, and I feel like it's super scriptural. If I take somebody and say, hey, I'm going to walk you through this process and I'm going to assist you in this, but now it's time for you to show me what you've learned. And that's really that process. We want to get them back on their feet, back to feeling self-confidence, back to feeling like they're part of community, back to feeling like they're part of society, and that they have something to contribute. Because I think that in what I've found with everybody that I've worked with over the years is that when they become homeless or when they become dealing with issues of addiction or whatever else it is, they feel like they have nothing to contribute, and that's such a lie of the enemy. So what we want to do is say, hey, no, you've got specific value, and you've got worth, and you can you can contribute to community, even if it's taking steps. And in my own life, is going through addiction and coming through the other side, is knowing that you might gain like 5 steps and fall back twice, but it's not giving up. And so what I'm saying is don't give up on people, but also start to, it went blank for a second. So, all right, start to just see their situation, start to see how you can assist them, and start to see how you can help them. So, all right, we only got a couple more minutes. This is our Christmas edition. I think
Why
Amy
do you
was
keep calling it? It's the 26th.
It's a Christmas edition.
No lie.
It's a Christmas edition. I like to call it the Christmas edition.
style.
So Amy's going to sing Silent Night for us.
What?
No.
Oh, God.
Just kidding. So as we end this episode, we want to let you guys know sometime in January, you'll see Acts 29 Church website. You'll see Restore Kids app website. And you'll be able to go on there and find out more information on what we're doing right here in Kitsap County. And I want to find out if these videos are helping other people start to launch something in their community. So comment down below right there, and eventually we'll figure out how to put like little graphics and things like that on there.
That'll be so fun, because that's going to be me.
Yeah, that's going to be
all of that fun
Amy.
Stuff.
I don't do that.
Also, I just wanted to say one thing, because the Lord really put this on my heart. Christmas season is typically the season that we're supposed to spend time with family and rest, relax. And that doesn't happen. Let's just be honest. It doesn't happen. We spend time finding the perfect present for this person, and then making a return, and then blah 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 blah. So my not advice, but I would just like to say this: if you did not get rest, if you did not get to spend time with family, if you didn't get to relax, choose a day this week and sit down and figure it out how you can get rest and how you can relax and how you can take a deep, full breath in the person of Jesus, because that is truly where our rest comes from. And so if you're feeling like the holidays after Christmas and so on, make this week, today or whatever, this next week, your rest. And know that you are loved. And we will be back again with another video.
In the new year. It'll be 2019 when our next video posts. And I'll be closer to 42.
Don't you even say my age or how close I am.
She's 25, folks.
Yes.
So. All right, so.
Wait, one more thing. So my favorite Christmas present this year was from Mike, of course, and it is this company, and it's called
Wanderer Bracelet.
Wanderer Bracelets.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to show you my GPS location, but Mike got me a GPS location of where we met. It was the most special thing ever. But this is another company that does some really great stuff in Bali. So they have artisans in Bali that make these bracelets, and the people who make them get paid livable wages, and it's restoring Bali. And so there's a great way to give a gift that means a great deal, that also helps restore a community.
Totally.
So whoever this dude is, I read your story and I forgot your name, but
awesome.
Love it.
So be looking for our Acts 29 Church website. Be looking for Restore Kids app website. How can they email us if they want to email us?
So it's restoreyou.amy@gmail.com, and we will soon get our own email address. So at restorekidsapp.com.
You can also write us at Restore Kids app at P.O. Box 1843, Silverdale, Washington 98383. Or you can just comment below, and we will look at the comments, and we will respond to you and have conversations with you and encourage you in whatever you're doing in your communities. Or if it's in our community, you want to get involved with us, great, because we want more people involved with us. We want this community of Kitsap to be changed forever for the kingdom of Christ.
Yes, so like us, share us,
and subscribe to us.
And
subscribe. There's three.
Subscribe to us.
She's getting better. All right. You guys have a blessed Christmas holiday and an amazing new year, and we will see you in 2019.
Woo woo.